What up?
Hello.
Dude, do I sound like I just woke up?
I think I do.
Yeah, you kind of do. Dude, you will not believe this. Okay, check this out. This already starting exaggerated, but I'm being for real. I'm being like 500%.
I already believe you.
I don't think. Okay, anyway. So remember our last chit chat? I was saying that, like, I'm being a waitress. Like, that's, like, I'm figuring out my blog situation. I've got that's a whole other topic. But I'm going to make my blog work. Like, I'm going to make it be an income. I'm going to stop. Okay. So until then, I'm going to be a waitress. This is my vision. Or until the gods provide me a better vision. Okay. But that's not what's amazing. Okay. So last chit chat, I was talking about I'm going to be a waitress. I need some expanders to show me, like, the kind of waitress, like, to really crystallize the vision of, like, oh, that's the kind of waitress I want to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I get very, like, super people-pleasy, and I feel like I kind of lose some vision of, like, there's probably a better version of a waitress than just that. It's like, okay, I need to see an example that just, it fits. You know what I mean? It fits me. Like, I see waiters who are just, like, total misfits, and I just love it, but it's not my personality, so I can't look to them and feel like that. You know what I mean? Like, they're not my expanders. They're my...
You're not yellow.
Well, they're my expanders in the sense that I'm so dazzled, you know, when the waiters are talking shit and making jokes, and you know what I mean? It's like, damn, dude, like, I would never talk to a customer that way. So it's expanding in that way, but it expands me as a person, but not as a server. So it's like, I need to see a server who is, like, kicking ass and taking numbers in a way that it's just different. It's different than I just barely see it. Okay. So I say that, and then this lady I talked to, who's been writing me since, I don't even know, like, it feels like years, right? Who's been listening to our bullshit for years.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been writing back and forth with her for years, like I just said. Okay, so she heard me say that I was looking for expanders with waitressing, and that it doesn't have to be real people. It can be like a TV show or a movie, or, you know what I mean? It can be just an example.
Like an archetype.
Exactly. It's a specific archetype that I'm looking for, so it doesn't have to be a real person. Let me take a sip. Hang on. You're gonna lose your fucking mind. Well, you probably won't give a damn, but I lost my mind, dude. Check this out. Okay, so she writes on Instagram and says, hey, when you said that, I instantly thought you should watch Two Broke Girls. And I was like, oh, is that a TV show? Like, is that a TV show? Like, I've heard of that. Somehow I always assumed it was like a movie or something. Okay, it's the TV show. So I'm like, I'm going to write that down. It's like a TV show, I guess, about waitresses, or the main character is a waitress. I don't know. I still haven't watched it, but it's on my list. This is like, it, you know, I asked, she delivered, I'm going to watch it. No fucking around. Okay. So she says that. Is the suspense building? I feel it. I feel like no one's feeling it. I'm definitely feeling it.
Yes, doctor.
Okay. So she says Two Broke Girls. I write that shit down. That was... What day was that? I think that was on Thursday. Then on Friday, I go to film a video. And I listen to audios while I film videos. And the manifestation lady has a podcast called Expanders, where she interviews people that she thinks would expand other people in different realms, you know, like, oh, you're into this thing. This podcast would probably expand you, or people that are her expanders. Okay. And the podcast is called Expanders. We can't get any more redundant and fucking clear what's going on here. So I'm looking for an interview to listen to while working. I'm digging through her archive.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what pops up in the fucking archive?
Two Broke Girls.
Two fucking Broke Girls. She interviews the star of Two Broke Girls. So the star of Two Broke Girls, who is supposed to be potentially my expander, is the Manifestation Lady's expander. She's on the Expander podcast, and the girl and the star of the show used our the manifestation workshops process in order to fucking level up her acting career. The actress was gushing about the Manifestation Lady. I was losing my mind. I was like, what the actual fuck? So, does that blow your mind or not? I need confirmation. You don't have to lie. You can just be like, fuck it. Fuck this. I'm out. I'm taking another sip.
I kind of saw it coming.
I know, because I like to build up stories in very obvious. When I build them up, we know where it's going. I know where it's going. You know where it's going. Fuck, I'm thirsty. Okay, so, but what do you think? Regardless of the building up, regardless of the quality of the story, what do you think about the content of the story?
Confirmation.
Okay, well, thanks for that heart-filled fucking... I feel like you really mean that. Okay, so I'm fixing my blog because it's so complicated, and I'm sure 99% of people don't give a flying fuck. They want stories. I don't really have stories, but I just have this random-ass chit-chat for now. Hopefully I can channel some more stories, bring up the past, but until then, I just gotta talk about I gotta talk about something. So I'm trying to fix my blog, and I did the math. Okay, so before, the blog wasn't a thing. Like, I have a blog, and it's kind of like in service of the YouTube videos, and I was just putting all this mental and emotional and financial wishes energy into YouTube, right, for the last 4 years, and it just clicked like, oh, this is not, like, I'm being very short-sighted. Like, this is not it for me. It's for others, that's fine. Maybe it could be for me. I'm not like saying no, but like I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing because here I am and people are listening, so there's no need to not do YouTube. I'm just not putting the vision into YouTube. My vision is now the blog, and before, the blog was what it was. Like, it was in service of the videos, and now I'm like, oh, I need to be focusing on the blog, and the video should be in service of the blog, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm listening to all these, like, there's this podcast called Food Blogger Pro, which is specifically where he's interviewing, like, all these full-time fucking, and by full-time, I mean paid full-time. My version of full-time is, like, you're losing money. Like, this is not a real, you got a fake job. I don't know. Okay, so I'm listening to all these interviews, and I just fucking found the podcast, and I was like, what? This could be a full-time job? What the hell am I doing? Like, it really woke me up. I was like, oh, I'm just fucking around here for 4 fucking years. Okay, moving along. Sorry. I'll calm down. Let me take a sip.
Yes, doctor.
Okay. So I realize the blog should be the thing. YouTube should be the support. So now I'm just like, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing on YouTube, but there's nothing to think about. Like, I already know what I'm doing on YouTube. I need to think about the blog. The blog is the thing. I hired the food blog coach. I'm committed. The blog is the thing. Where am I going with this? Oh, so listening to the podcast with food bloggers, a lot of people, I mean, there are really smart people. Sorry, I don't know why that felt so weird to admit. There are smart people. Oh, because this implies I'm not smart. Okay, that's fine.
Oh.
We'll go there. That's fine. So there are smart people who start their food blog from day one with the intention and the knowledge, oh, this is going to be my job. Like, I'm starting this food blog specific, like, for the purpose of making a full-time income. And then there are other people who start a food blog as like a hobby, like it's just something they enjoy, or it's something that they think like, oh, maybe this could turn into something, right? Mm-hmm. Which was okay. So those people who don't start off with the clear intention of like, I'm making this a business, mm-hmm. when people just start as like a hobby or kind of half-ass it just to see where it goes, right?
Yeah.
those people always have a lot of old content on their blog that was kind of trash because they weren't, like, the people who start with the idea, like, this is going to be my business.
There's certain ways you have to do things.
Yeah, they take classes. They sign up for, like, there's what the fuck is it called? It's like the Food Blogger Pro, like, the podcast. They have, like, this, I forget what it's called. It's, like, essentially, like, a subscription community, and there's, like, 300 videos that you can watch of, like, showing you how to do all this stuff. Like, food blogging is not just what you see. There's so much behind the scenes, which I didn't know until, like, a month ago, in order to make your blog work. Okay. So people who want to do it as a business and be successful from day one, they learn all this shit. Like, they sign up for that.
Mm-hmm.
So they start their blog doing things the right way, right? And then all the other people, they have to go back and fix old content, or they choose not to, knowing that they really need to. You know what I mean? Okay.
So you're in the B crowd.
Dude, I'm like queen bee. You know what I mean? Like, check this out. Okay. So I have over 500 videos on YouTube. And at first that kind of freaked me out. I was like, fuck, that is a lot of blog posts. But then I realized yesterday, I did the math. I was like, oh, I actually have like half of those are just single videos. Like, of, you know, when I was just making one thing per video. So those things have blog posts that are also singular.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, well, no, I guess those are trash too. But anyway, but I have, and I counted it, 270 videos that are linked to trash blog posts. And when I say trash, I mean that for each video has like 3 recipes per video.
Mm-hmm.
So that blog, for those 240 blog posts, I'm sorry if this is boring, but this is interesting to me, so we're just going to keep going. 240 videos with 3 plus recipes. That reflects the blog post. So I have 270 blog posts that each have 3 or more recipes per blog post.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The right way to move forward, well, not the right way, the best way, like the optimal way would be to take all of those blog posts and turn them into individual blog posts and essentially fix some of the errors in the actual post, right? Just rewrite all of it.
Mm-hmm.
I did the math on how many individual blog posts I would need to rewrite in order to fix the past, right? If I did one a week, because it takes a lot of fucking work. Most people write 2 blog posts a week. I asked the blog coach, I was like, how many blog posts do you do a week? She's like, 2 at most. And I was like, okay, well, I have to do 3 in order to maintain my videos. Okay. So, I'm sorry, I see your eyes are glazing over. I really shouldn't be talking about this out loud, but this is what I want to talk about. Okay.
Tell me more.
So if I cleaned up on top of what I'm doing now, which is, you know...
So it would be more like fixing 1,000 blog posts, right?
Fuck the air. Hang on. That's not a adding. That's a subtracting. Okay, sorry.
Yes, doctor.
Okay. So I would be like working full time to keep my blog afloat. So the time it would take to fix one blog post a week,
Mm-hmm.
to fix all, it was like 270 posts times 3.
Mm-hmm.
It would take me, and I'm pretty sure I did the math right. I feel like there's probably math people out there that are like, false, unsubscribe. She can't do fucking basic math. 13 years to fix my blog. If I did one post a week, it would take me 13 years to fucking right the wrong. Which is really a sales pitch on, if something's not working, don't wait 4 years to kind of like, hey, what's going on, right? Don't do that. What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yes, 13 years. I'm not really sure what to do about that. That kind of makes me feel like I should just move forward, forget the past.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Do you have any thoughts or opinions?
I mean, it sounds like starting from scratch would be about the same amount as work.
Yeah.
So,
But if I did one post a day, which would be impossible because I'd have to like re-photograph everything. Like, so I'd have to be making these recipes every single day, which is a lot of money. It would take me 2 years if I did it every single day. But then I wouldn't have time to work on the blog moving forward. So I'm not really sure where this is going. I'm just trying to be dramatic about numbers. I guess, I don't know, because it doesn't really impact my life, I don't think. Okay. So that's that. Oh, yeah. So I changed the name of the blog and all the social media.
Mm-hmm.
And
Some
lost.
People cried.
Yeah, well, some people cried. Most people fucking got the humor of it. Some people were like, not funny. Not funny at all. Actually awful. Someone told me they hated it. Like they didn't hate it. They're hating it. They use ing. I'm hating it. Like the hate just keeps, like it's a fucking river of hate. You know what I mean? This is not like I have a cup of hate. And this cup has some hate in it, and this is how I feel about your blog. This is a fucking raging river that keeps fucking going. It's like, you know what? I liked Anarchist Kitchen. That shit was fantastic, right? But this is trash. And I was like, that's interesting, because that was what my blog coach said. My blog coach says that Modest Dish was trash. So she came up with the name Vegan But Lazy. And when she said that shit, I was like, what? Because I was like, a URL? I can have a URL with the word lazy in it? Like, dude, something about that, like, my heart was singing. I was like, you know what? I think yes, right? Mm-hmm. Granted, I'm not vegan or lazy, but that's the right vibe for, that's like in service of the blog. That's like the right vibe for the recipes, because that's the only kind of recipes. She was like, are you sure you only want to make vegan recipes? I was like, it's just like this feeling of like, yes, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's not rude that she asked. That's fair that she asked, but I get defensive. Like, yes, that is all I want to fucking do. So in the intake form, she like asks all these questions, you know, that's like, what kind of recipes do you like to make? What kind do you not like to make? Like, what vibe are you into, you know, like as a person, like all this shit. And as I'm filling out the form, I'm like, damn, dude, I'm into some fucking relaxed shit. Like, I need some casual shit. Like, and it clicked on why Modest Dish wasn't the right vibe. And it didn't click before that. Like, I knew I didn't love Modest Dish. I just wanted to get away from Anarchist Kitchen. And I have to go from Anarchist Kitchen to, like, what was it, a Mormon vibe? Like, I have to swing so far the other way. Because I live in extremes. Because I'm a total badass. Okay, so... where is this going? So when I'm filling out the intake form, it clicks why Modest Dish isn't the right fit, because Modest Dish does sound like more wholesome and proper, at least to me. I don't know how it sounds, but that's how it sounds to me. And it's like that. It's such a I'm not going to get into the psychology because it is a mind fuck, but essentially it's like, I mean, there's definitely a huge part of me that wants to, like, tone down, hide, like, do not look at me, like, no, I'm not here, like, I don't know, it's definitely some hiding vibe that I'm kind of, you know, it's hard to explain. I mean, it's not hard to explain, it's just extremely complicated because it's all, like, you know, like, childhood baggage in your subconscious mind kind of bullshit. Okay, so it clicked, like, oh, I'm into some casual, lazy, like, what is the word? Relaxed. You know what I mean? Like, this is, like, I don't know. Like, I'm going that way. So that makes sense. So then when she connected the dots, like, oh, what do you think of this name? I was like, oh my God, that's actually fucking perfect. Like, that's hilarious. Like, that's kind of fucking, there's, like, some tongue-in-cheek, like, some sarcasm. Like, I don't know. It kind of was, like, sassy and rude, but not really. I don't know. It had rebellion. That was the word. It felt kind of rebellious, and I was like, oh, my heart sings to rebellion. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, because, and this is where, and I feel like people aren't going to understand. Maybe people will understand me. I just assume people may not understand me because I'm deeply conflicted. Like, I'm a very contradictory. I don't know. Okay. My heart sings with rebellion because, do you know the answer? Put you on spot?
YOLO? No. What's the answer?
Okay, I'm going to tell you, and then you have to give me feedback on what you think. So get those wheels turning in your brain with this answer. I love rebellion because I am so rule obsessed. I'm so like
Yeah, you're so organized.
I'm so like organized is not the word. That's like an example of it. It's like my brain gets very locked in. You know what I mean? Like I'm a person who I don't even know how to explain it. I'm sure people know. Like some people are just they feel like they find a right way for them.
Every time you get a new appliance, you read the directions front to back.
And I feel good. When I'm reading that shit, I'm like, there's like a part of my brain that's just giving me a standing ovation for reading this shit. Like gold star for me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so, there's a fucking word. I'm trying to remember what it is. Like I just feel like I uphold. Like, that's my brain. Like this is the rules. Like, when we're not doing it, we don't, like, when I'm not following the rules in my brain, it's never like, fuck it, YOLO. It's always like, dude, we need to get back on track. That's like a fundamental, that is a fundamental way that I react when things get off course, is we need to get back on course. We need to get our sleep on course. Like, we need to get back in the gym. Like, all this bullshit. Like,
you do say back on track a lot.
I do. I never noticed. I love talking. Okay. Because then I learn about
like
myself.
Your motto. That's your motto. Back on track.
That is fucking crazy. I do say that all the damn time. Because I'm like, our food budget's going crazy. We need to get that shit back on track. Like, that is my MO in life, right? Because there's this unspoken rule that I've created for whatever period of time I'm in, that this is the priority, these are my values, and it's challenging to, you grow as a person. So your values change as you grow. The goalpost moves. So to meet your goal, you have to stretch. And to stretch is like, it's challenging to maintain that stretch. So you have to, let up, or you don't let up by choice. I mean, it's just just the flow of fucking life. You have to go, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, right?
Like, sometimes your goals need to adjust.
Well, I mean, it's like I've got financial goals, right? For like our budget, right? Or I've got waking up goals so that our ass can get in the gym. Which is 2 goals the 3 goals in and of itself. Like, that's like, go to bed at a certain time, wake up at a certain time, and get your ass in the gym. Those are 3 goals in and of itself. So it's like, none of these things are my default setting. My default setting is to go to bed later and later and later every night. Not the same time late every night, but perpetually every fucking night. Just make it like an hour later. And it gets really out of control. And then my sleep, it's a shit show. So I lay a fucking line in the sand and I say, this is now where I am. Right? This is the time I want to wake up. This is the time I want to go to sleep. This is, I want to go to the gym. When does it fit in my schedule? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I get very wound up about these things, and I feel like I have to uphold these rules. I'm aware that they're arbitrary rules, but I see it like a puzzle piece, that if I don't do this now, it fits in my life in a certain way. And if I don't uphold where it fits, then it actually just doesn't fit at all. Like if I don't go to the gym at this time, if I don't wake up at 7:15, we're not going to the gym that day. Like, these are the options that, okay. So I get very spun out on essentially my values or my goals or priorities. That is what it is. So when I'm around certain people who are just like 2 fucking fingers in the sky, and they're just so fucking rebellious, it's extremely refreshing. Like, I don't want to be that way. I want to like secondhand smoke their way. You know what I mean? Like I want to enjoy the pleasures of a fine, like.
You do that, don't you?
I love it. I fucking love it. Fucker. Hang on. So where is this going? Oh, so
So
I
that's
like
kind of what vegan Polizzi is.
Well,
in a way.
It
expresses that.
Okay, which is interesting now that I say all this out loud, because when you think about it, as someone who's not vegan or lazy, but I have this alter ego that kind of holds that energy. Yeah, it's very balancing. Like it's like it's the right fucking vibe. Like I need that vibe. I need that to do this other thing that I can't do over here. I have to do it over there. I love it. I don't know. People could be rolling their eyes. People could be like, fuck this contradictory cunt. Yeah, I said it, right? This contradictory bastard. This slut. Fuck this slut, right? I don't know what they're thinking, but I feel good just saying all this. This feels great. I just learned some shit about myself. Damn, dude, I didn't even realize how much I say we need to get back on track. I probably say that every goddamn day.
Yeah, you do.
I probably do. Every day is an off-track day. Anyway. Okay, so I'm pumped about the new name. I'm not changing it. Anybody who's crying a fucking river, most people were like, wow, I love it, and I get it. Most people were sending like laughing emojis and were like, yes. So I'm not trying to paint the picture that like I'm some sort of underdog, but there is a consensus that people liked Anarchist Kitchen better. And I don't think anybody likes that name more than me. I don't think that name could mean any more to anyone else than it means to me. And people say like, why did you change it? And I needed to change it, and I didn't. Okay, this is going to get fucking Oprah on you, but that's just how we go. So let's just do it. When I changed Anarchist Kitchen, I just sensed that I needed to fucking change it. Like, I just sensed that there was some energy in there I needed to shake because that energy was holding me back. And I didn't really know what all it was at the time. Because this was actually, I did this. I changed the name before I started doing the workshops. And the workshops are all like, fucking looking at your fucking darkness and all this horse shit. So I didn't realize at the time why. Like, I mean, I had some ideas. I was like, I don't want to do Anarchist Kitchen because when I think of Anarchist Kitchen, it's like I came up with that name when I was like, like really romanticizing being poor and just like, or not even being poor, but like poverty mentality, like really over-identifying with like not having my needs met essentially, and just finding like some sort of pat on the back with that. Okay, I'm just going to go there. Every now and then, especially when my Facebook page was called Anarchist Kitchen and fucking Facebook kept boosting my videos for their selfish own reasons, and then these people would see my videos that don't, follow the channel, they don't know me, nothing. For years, anyone who watched Anarchist Kitchen on Facebook, those videos, those were people who listened to my audios and, kind of had a sense of me. Mm-hmm. But Facebook started boosting those videos. So, like, everybody and their goddamn mom would see my videos and they'd see the name and they'd, like, make some fucking snarky-ass comment about anarchist whatever, right? They'd talk shit on, like, anarchy, which I obviously don't give a flying fuck about. Like, have your own opinion, right? But I don't know, like, these people would just make these comments about, like, oh, you're really into capital. Like, trying to, like, oh, you call yourself Anarchist Kitchen. This is capitalist kitchen. Somebody told me that the other day, and I'm just like, what? I was like,
that's a good one.
I was like, I don't know what you're saying, but the energy is very rude. Like, I cannot make sense of what you're actually saying. Like, I have no clue what you're trying to say about me, but I can tell you're just trying to be mean, and that's not good. I don't like that. Take a hike. And I said back to this person, I was like, they said something about Anarchist Kitchen was better, now it's Capitalist Kitchen. I was like, what about Go Fuck Yourself Kitchen? And he wrote back immediately, I think it was a him. And he was like, and he made some sort of comment that was funny, and then we were chatting back and forth, and it was pleasant, it was nice. where's all this going? So I changed Anarchist Kitchen because I'm trying to shake this energy that feels like being poor and struggling is fantastic, right? And that wanting to fucking have a full-time income is shameful when it's not goddamn shameful. Like, I don't want to be like my parents, like, right? Should we talk about my fucking parents?
You can. They're poor.
Dude, they're in their 70s. They're about to probably, I hate to say it, do you think they're going to lose their house?
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
It seems like they're going to lose their house, which isn't a statement about being homeless, because they're not going to be homeless. They're going to move in with us. My 70-year-old parents are going to move in with us. And I'd been kind of putting some blinders on, being like, no, it's going to be fine. They can live with us. Every time I tell it to a friend, everybody's reaction is like, ugh, like that. Like, yeah. Nobody is...
Which is kind of my reaction.
Yeah. Well, I was fucking being Pollyanna, like, this is going to be fantastic, right? And then I saw my rowdy-ass friend who was in town, who knew me in middle school. Like, she's known me since middle school. And she saw how my parents raised me, and I didn't even realize how much she was, like, seeing how they raised me. Like, I was, you're in it, so you don't see it. Mm-hmm. So you're just like, oh, this is just, it is what it is. You feel like things are kind of fucked, but you're just like, whatever, right? I'm just doing my thing. But she wasn't, she was seeing it more objectively. Mm-hmm. So, where the fuck is this going? So when I told her that they were moving in with us, she had a lot of thoughts and feelings. I mean, she obviously respects my parents for being my parents, and, they've never done her wrong and vice versa. But, as far as, like, objectively looking at the situation and just kind of, having some sympathy and empathy or whatever, where the fuck is this going? It's actually going somewhere. Oh, so I talked to her, and then I have, like, this flashback to moving out at 17. Mm-hmm. Like, as soon as I could move out, I mean, I moved back in. I moved in and out, like, twice. I was finally gone at 19 for good. But at 17, I was like, peace out. Like, you guys are, and I hate saying this because this was then. I'm not going to put this, I'm sure everybody grows and changes. But at the time, speaking for then, I was like, in my head, in my feelings, I don't even think I consciously thought this, but all my behavior confirms that this feeling was how I truly felt, which was just like, you guys are doing an awful job. Like, you're not taking care of me. Like, I just want to cry just saying that out loud. It's like, they did such a shitty job taking care of me. So at 17, I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm not depending on you anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, I got a job at 14 because I was like, I'm taking care of myself. So I don't want to be like them. I don't want to be in my 70s, like, struggling because I didn't get my shit together. Mm-hmm. So, like, I had to come to terms with that. Like, I don't want to be fucking poor anymore.
And you feel like Anarchist Kitchen was kind of had your feet in the sand?
The Anarchist Kitchen is bullshit for me. It's a great fucking name, and I will always love the name, but it's connected to like, growing up really, growing up fucked up and kind of confusing it and feeling like, oh, this is my strength, or like, this
like
is
identifying with,
over-identifying with being poor, or not even being poor. It's not poor. It's like, it's
not having your needs met.
Yeah, and it's being like Anarchy's like, I can meet my own needs. That's kind of that's why I like that energy. Mm-hmm. Because it has this sense of like, fuck you, you're doing it wrong. Like, the government's doing it wrong. Like, corporations are doing it wrong. Like, everybody's doing it wrong. Fuck you, I'm out. And I really vibed with that because it really spoke to my fucking inner child, right? And it's like, you know what? That's not how I am. Like, I've never talked anarchy on this channel, which is the most confusing thing when people say, and not a lot of people, a handful of people have said, like, essentially, like, I hate that you changed the name, or maybe they don't say I hate, but they just say, like, I followed the channel because of the name. And it's like, I don't understand that. No offense, I'm not trying to be rude, but I literally don't understand what that means. Like, when you follow the channel for the name, but the content stays the same regardless of what the name means. I'm sure somebody will explain it and then I'll click and I'll feel like a jackass for saying I don't understand. But right now I don't understand why anyone would follow the channel for that name. Okay. Regardless of that, I have goals and ambitions. And romanticizing like things based on childhood trauma and childhood pain is not part of that. So when I was like, oh, I need to shake whatever that is, and I didn't completely know what it was, I just knew that I needed to get it, I needed to move on. And getting rid of that name had to do with that. And now that I look back, it's been a few months. Let me take a sip. Fuck, we need to wrap this up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What was I saying? So it's been a few months since I changed the name, and when I look back on the name, I obviously don't just see fucking crying eyes and being like, boo-hoo, my childhood was, less than ideal. What I see is kind of the general vibe of Anarchist Kitchen, that name, not the channel, none of that, just the name. What the name represents to me is a part of my life where I was very depressed. I mean, very fucking depressed. Every fucking day I wanted to kill myself. Every fucking day I thought about it. Looking back, I don't think I was going to do it, but it was just an ingrained pattern in my mind to kind of cope with all the depression and stress. Like, I didn't have coping skills. My coping skills were like, fuck you, I want to die. That was kind of, I think, what I was thinking at the time. And I came up with this name over 10 years ago. I mean, I'm such a different person now. It's like the name, I love the name. It means a lot to me because, all this, I'm not going to go into a speech about like why it means so much to me, but it does. It's anchored into a huge part of who I was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it really represented that person. But it definitely does not represent where I'm going at all.
So it's like a chapter and you're closing it.
Essentially, yeah. So when people are like, bring back Anarchist Kitchen, it's like, I obviously do not expect anybody to understand my resistance. Like, and they shouldn't just read my fucking mind. Like that, I don't like mind reading at all. Like, they don't, they have their association and they want to bring back that. And I love that. Like, to me, that's they're loving the part that I love. In my mind, that's kind of how I interpret it. But there's more that comes with that, which is the other associations that I have, which I'm saying no to. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why that name is never coming back. Long live Anarchist Kitchen. No one will love that name more than me because it's a part of me. And you have, you love all your parts, right? Good or bad parts, you love them. So that is that. Okay, we have to wrap this up because we have to go get my nephew, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Peace.